Fire Emblem Heroes is a complicated game, and with the release of Emblem Heroes, things aren't getting any easier. So in this video series, I'll be going over all the intricacies and nuances of each and every Emblem Hero, so you can have a better understanding of what they can do. And what's a more fitting way to start us off than with the Emblem of Beginnings himself, Marth.
I hope to form an unshakable bond with you.
Marth is our very first Emblem Hero, and as a result brings a lot of new stuff to the table. He joins as a sword infantry unit with incredible offenses and average defenses. His weapon, the Hero King's Sword, reduces his special cooldown count and grants effectiveness against dragon foes. And when he's above 25% HP, Marth gets the following effects during combat. Extra attack, speed, defense, and resistance based on 1/5 of his visible speed stat. 40% damage reduction on foes' first attacks, including brave hits, half damage reduction piercing, and desperation. Next up is Marth's personal special, Lodestar Rush! This special's got a pretty lengthy description, so let's break it down line by line. First off, Lodestar Rush adds additional damage equal to 40% of Marth's speed during combat. It also gives him Null Guard, and whenever his or his foe's special is ready or has triggered, Marth gets 40% special / unpierceable damage reduction. But what the heck is even going on with this potent follow X% stuff? Well, to answer that question, let's take a quick detour to look at Marth's new B skill, Potent 4. To understand Potent 4, let's start off simple. This B skill inflicts -4 to the enemy's speed and defense, and grants 30% damage reduction against all attacks, including AoEs. And now for the interesting part. Potent 4 says that if decreasing the speed difference necessary to make a follow-up attack by 25 would allow the unit to trigger a follow-up attack, then unit triggers Potent Follow X%. Okay, so what the hell did we just read? Again, let's dissect things bit by bit. What Potent 4 means by, quote, decreasing the speed difference by 25 is this. Under normal conditions, a unit needs 5 more speed than their opponent to make a follow-up attack. Potent 4 takes that 5 speed difference, subtracts 25, and now checks to see if giving your unit 20 more speed would allow them to have equal or more speed than your foe. Again, Potent 4 is artificially giving your unit 20 more speed, and now checking if they have equal or more speed than your opponent to then make a potent follow-up attack. To demonstrate this, let's look at an example. In this scenario, Marth has way less speed than Nerthus. With her weapon and skills, she gets an effective 75 speed during combat. Marth has absolutely no hope of doubling her. But if we factor in Potent 4, Marth inflicts -4 speed on Nerthus, and using the handy shortcut of simply adding 20 to Marth's speed, we can see that both him and Nerthus reach an effective 71 speed during combat. Because they tie at 71 speed, Marth is able to make a potent follow-up.
Disappear.
So we just looked at the case where Marth had the minimum speed necessary to make a potent follow-up. Now, let's look at the case where Marth just barely isn't able to trigger one. We'll do this by simply giving Nerthus 1 more point of speed. Now if we conduct the experiment, Marth can only attack once. No potent follow-ups are happening here.
Disappear.
And just in case you were curious, Phantom Speed does not actually help alleviate Potent 4's speed threshold. This is because, well, in the fine print, Potent 4 is not actually comparing speed stats, it's more so augmenting the natural doubling threshold.
Cannot disappear.
Now, before we return back to examining Lodestar Rush, there's a few more things we need to note about potent follow-ups. And for simplicity in this explanation, this symbol will refer to standard follow-up attacks, while this icon will refer to potent follow-ups. And just so I don't have to say potent follow-up every single sentence, I'm just going to shortcut it to PFU from here on out. So to understand PFUs, first is that they are not affected by enemy skills that prevent follow-ups. In a way, they're kind of in their own category. They completely bypass any follow-up negation effects. Second is that PFUs will trigger immediately after the unit's standard follow-up attack, if they can make one, that is. Think of this as a desperation effect. If the unit is not able to make a standard follow-up attack, whether it be because they're too slow or not have a guaranteed follow-up, then the PFU will activate when the standard follow-up would have, or in layman's terms, when the second attack would have happened. Moreover, the attack priority of a PFU is not actually affected by skills like Hardy Bearing.
Always.
Third, the amount of damage that a PFU can deal is based on the previous point. If your unit can double, whether it's from a standard follow-up or a brave attack, then the PFU will deal 40% damage. Otherwise, you're dealing 80% damage. Basically, if the unit can already attack twice, then the PFU just won't deal as much damage.
Always.
Lastly, PFUs can activate when a unit's special triggers. When that happens, the unit's special damage will also be reduced to 40 or 80% of its full potential, greatly or slightly weakening the damage output.
I will guide you.
And so, that just about covers everything you need to know about Potent 4 and Potent follow-ups. Despite how long that skill's description is, at the end of the day, Potent 4 just basically gives your unit an extra attack, just like how Divine Speed works in Engage. And now that you have a good understanding of PFUs, it's finally time to dissect that last bit we skipped over in Lodestar Rush. The final pieces of Lodestar Rush can effectively be summarized to this. If Lodestar Rush is ready or has triggered, then Marth's PFU will deal 100% damage. Yup, that's it. Pretty simple effect, but a very strong one nonetheless. The main drawback of Potent 4 is the fact that it reduces the PFU damage to only 40% or 80%. Lodestar Rush allows Marth to completely bypass that, and deal maximum damage as a result. In the following examples, we'll show off side by side with and without Lodestar Rush, exactly how that works.
I will guide you. Ha!
And the positives don't end there. Because the Hero King's sword reduces Lodestar Rush to 1 cooldown, and his special has Null Guard built in, there is never a scenario where Marth doesn't get 100% damage to his PFU. Basically what this means is that Marth is literally the best user of this skill. While you can inherit Potent 4 onto many types of units, I really just don't see a better user than Marth himself. So instead of foddering away your only copy of Marth, let's consider what more he brings to the table. Shine On, Emblem of Beginnings. Of course, we can't talk about Emblem Marth without mentioning his Emblem Ring effect. When engaged with an ally, Marth gives them special acceleration with the stipulation that a special cannot go below 1 cooldown. Also, if the engaged unit can make a brave attack, then their special damage is reduced by 8 points. It doesn't take a Phaeologist to realize that giving any unit slaying is pretty strong. Units that don't come with slaying built into their weapon see a massive increase in potential, allowing them to fire off specials more consistently. And units that have slaying already in their weapon can compound their cooldown from -1 to -2, turning powerful 3 cooldown specials like Flare, Deadeye, and No Quarter into 1 cooldown specials. Now, I do want to give particular attention to this effect of Marth's Emblem Ring. It's clear that units that can trigger brave attacks will see a slight damage nerf to their specials, but what exactly does that mean? Or rather, what exactly is special damage? Well, there's actually a trick to figuring that out. Special damage basically refers to any extra damage that comes from a special that triggers a voice line. Some of which include Bonfire, Iceberg, Luna, Deadeye, Lethality, Flare, Ether, Light's Restraint, and Armored Beacon, to name a few. But that's a lot of specials, and it's easier to remember the ones that don't have a voice line. The main ones that stand out are AoE specials, defensive specials, and Gale Force. These 3 categories receive the most benefit from Marth's Emblem Effect, because not only are they exempt from the -8 damage penalty for brave weapons, but they're also generally high cooldown specials. With help from skills such as Times Pulse, Quicken Pulse, Infantry Pulse, Pulse Up Blade, how many pulse skills are there? Well, it's pretty easy to charge these specials. But again, Marth's Emblem Ring only reduces special damage if the unit can trigger a Brave attack, so really the -8 damage is pretty inconsequential. And making 3 cooldown specials like Flare and No Quarter into 1 cooldown specials is insanely powerful. If your unit has Null Guard in their kit, it becomes very easy to loop these specials. Not even Scowl can stop that. Now, it would be impossible for me to go over every single unit and build that makes the best use of Marth's Emblem Ring, so instead I'm going to showcase some of my own units that have greatly enjoyed the Emblem Effect from Marth. I hope these builds can give you some inspiration when building your own units, and going through them, feel free to pause the video to have a better look. In the comments below, I'd love to hear how you all have been using Marth's Emblem Ring, and which of your units have received the most benefit from him. I'll definitely check them out. And that covers just about everything I have to say. Thanks for watching, and I hope after this video you now have a better understanding of Emblem Marth. See you next time.